How to Tyreal. I love Tyreal. He's a badass assassin slash tank. Deals lots of damage, deals a bit of CC with his ultimate, but back in February, they nerfed the poor guy. They took away an important talent, Cast Aside, which allowed him to have a little bit more CC into his kit. And now, this kind of gutted him. Not as good as he once was, but you know what I say? Fuck it. I like to build Tyreal as a high damage warrior, someone who can get into the back line and deal consistent damage, as well as initiate fights with his ultimate. For the talents, we're going to be speccing the first two into his smite, his E. This allows us to deal consistent damage, while also being able to spam it as much as possible with the CDR. The battle momentum as well will help us keep those cooldowns reduced, and of course we're going to take the Judgement as our ultimate. It is an excellent ability to use to dash onto a carry who might be out of position or just straight up initiate a team fight. A bit of a controversial talent at 13 is Burning Rage. I like to take it just to deal a little bit more damage to the backline while you're soaking up all the damage and dishing out your own. At 16 we take Blood for Blood. This is an excellent ability to stick onto targets and give Tyreal a little bit of extra CC that he needs to stay in the team fights. And then at 20 we want to take Hardened Shield to give Tyreal that late game tankiness status that he doesn't have much in the early game. Now, if you don't want to go damage and you need more of a huge tank in your team comp, I like to do this build. You take Regen Master and the healing effects. This essentially makes Tyreal regen an insane amount of health later on in the game. The healing benefits from the level 4 talent just makes it so you have upwards of 70 health regen a second if you're keeping up on your health clubs. And then the other differentiating factor is the level 13 talent. This one helps keep enemy attackers slowed while they're attacking you, and their attack speed is also reduced as well, giving you a little bit of extra CC in team fights. And of course we want to take Hardened Shield at 20. It allows him to stay alive after he dives back into a backline, and it's just insanely strong. Seriously, take this all the time on Tyreal. The early game. Tyreal excels at early game skirmishes, usually 2-on-2, 1v1, things like that. Here I see Brightwing's going to get hooked. I immediately go onto the low target on Sylvanas, and we're able to trade a kill off despite losing Brightwing. Tyreal also excels at scattered teamfights, using your Q to hop to any low targets and using your E to speed your team around in these scattered crazy teamfights. One thing to note, you do not always have to go to your Q when you throw it. The Lee Syndrome is back, and if you do it, you're just gonna look like an idiot. Make sure you always have vision before you teleport to your Q. Don't be like me. And now, for the real reason anyone plays Tyreal. Motherfucking Judgement, baby. This heroic kicks so much ass. Being able to zoom in on a target, stun their ass, and take them down is so much fun. When to use Judgement. Judgement is best used on targets that are isolated from their teammates and when you're roaming with your team. Here I see Tyrande use her skill shot and is isolated. I immediately zoom in onto her knowing that she has no escape available and my team is there to back me up. Again here, I'm moving towards the mid lane with my team. I see the Vala and also an Illidan, and I immediately zoom in onto the Illidan, and my team is there to back me up. One thing that's super helpful when you're playing with randoms is to ping constantly. I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here, so that people know that you're going to be initiating on a target. Judgement is also excellent at isolating targets in the middle of a team fight. Here I see Diablo is way in too deep, so I immediately go on to the Sylvanas, get her out of the fight, leaving Diablo all on his own. We turn around and burst him down, and are able to get a 2-for-1 trade at the end of this fight. When not to use Judgement. While Judgement is a super cool ability and tons of fun to use, it is important when to use it. For this section here, I'm going to be initiating onto a Vala who is able to just vault away. My team is not able to get up towards the fight, which means me and ETC are essentially there taking tons of damage and allowing the Illidan to get back onto our back line and deal so much damage. You need to be able to have your team close enough and able to initiate with you onto a target, and onto a target that doesn't have sick mobility. Being tanky as hell. If you're using the tanky build that I had at the start of the video, you can actually sustain through so much damage, especially at level 20 with Hardened Shield. As I get eaten and attacked by so much, Hardened Shield pretty much keeps me alive through this at full health, along with my team healing me. This tanky build also allows you to just have an insane amount of regeneration of your health. Even after diving all the way into a fight, getting beaten and battered down, we look at my health regeneration. I am sticking in this motherfucker with so much health regen. Also thanks to my team keeping me alive, but I'm regenerating upwards of 500 health throughout this and able to get back up to 2,000 health. Now let's piece everything together that we've learned today. The fight has started out, we hit level 10 right here, I level up Judgement and go immediately on to the Kerrigan, the squishy target. My team follows up and we're able to burst her down. Uther also gets incredibly weak due to Sylvanas flanking. I use my Q to hop onto her, and while I'm taking a lot of damage and I'm pretty sure going to go down, I then use my retarded passive to blow up everybody. Pretty sick. Unfortunately, we still lost that game. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it and can learn a little bit from it. If you'd like to see more, let me know. If not, go ahead and call me all sorts of insults like my teammates do in the game.